Imagine opening your wallet at the end of the month. You worked every day. He received his salary. He paid the bills. Perhaps I avoided some purchases. And even so, the money disappeared. There was no major tragedy, no broken cars, no luxury trips, no absurd purchases. He simply left. Little by little. A coffee shop, a meal, a signature. A purchase that seemed too small to import. Until one quiet night, sitting at the kitchen table, you look at your phone screen and realize that almost everything is over. Then a troubling question arises. Where did my money go? In Japan, more than a century ago, a woman decided to ask exactly that question. Her name was Hani Motoko. In 1904, she presented a simple way to organize household finances that would become known as Kakeibo. The idea seemed almost banal. Write down how much money comes in. How much do you know? How much do you want to save? But there was something deeper behind that little notebook. Before spending, you needed think. And thinking about money can be much harder than earning money. Because when a purchase remains only in your head, it seems small. But when it needs to be written, it becomes a choice. Do I really need this? Will this improve my life? Am I buying this because I need it or because I'm tired? The question changes everything. Imagine Kenji, 42 years old, work hard. It's not irresponsible. He doesn't live surrounded by luxury. But every month he feels the same way. The salary arrives and it disappears. One night, he spreads the receipts out on the table. A coffee shop, a quick meal, an online purchase, a subscription that you almost never use. Nothing seems important until he puts it all together, and he falls silent. The problem wasn't about making one big decision. It was in dozens of small decisions that he had never noticed. This is how money often disappears. Not like an explosion, but like water slowly seeping from a tap. One drop doesn't seem to matter. Even 100 drops start to matter. 1,000. They change the level of what remains. And there is an important discovery here. The first step to building wealth may not be earning more. Perhaps it's about discovering where your earnings are going. Hani Motoko understood this long before banking apps, credit cards, and instant notifications. The Kakeibo transformed money into something visible. You needed to confront your own habits. And that could be uncomfortable, because numbers don't lie. They don't make excuses. If you spent it, you spent it. If you didn't save it, you didn't save it. But this honesty can also bring relief, because that which is invisible seems impossible to control. When you can see, things can start to change. And here is the first rule. Before trying to earn more money, learn to see your own money. It doesn't mean cutting everything out. It doesn't mean living in fear of spending money. It means knowing what deserves to receive a part of your life. Because every time you hand over money, you're also handing over a small part of your time. And time, it's the only resource that no one can give back. Kenji closes the banking app. Grab a notebook. And he begins to write. For the first time, he doesn't ask, "How can I earn more?" He asks, "What is my money really worth?" And this question opens a door to an even older Japanese idea, a word that speaks of waste. But it's not just a waste of money, food waste, waste of objects, waste of resources, and even a waste of things that still have value. His name is Mottainai. And when Kenji begins to understand this word, he realizes something he had never considered before. Perhaps the problem isn't just how much money comes into your life. Perhaps it is, how much value do you miss out on every day without realizing it? And this discovery will change the next decision. Because sometimes the first way to get richer is simply to stop throwing wealth away. The rain was slowly beating against the windows. Inside a small Japanese house, a woman was finishing preparing dinner. There was rice on the table, fish, legumes. Nothing seemed extraordinary, but there was an unspoken rule in that kitchen. Nothing should be wasted without reason. A piece of food that could still be used was not simply thrown away. A broken item was not automatically replaced. An old piece could gain a new function. And for a long time, this way of seeing the world was associated with a Japanese word, Mottainai. It's a difficult word to translate perfectly. It carries the idea of waste, but also of respect for the value that something possesses. And there is a huge difference between those two things. Because when you look at something solely based on the price you paid for it, you think, it was cheap. I can buy another one. It makes no difference. But when you look at it for the value that still exists there, the question changes. Do I really need to replace this? This change seems small. Financially, however, it could be gigantic. Imagine two people receiving exactly the same salary. They both earn 5,000 Ries per month. The first one is always thinking, when I earn more, my life will improve. Then the salary increases, and a few months later, expenses increase as well. A better cell phone, a more expensive car, most frequently visited restaurants, more signatures, more installments. The standard of living is rising, but the feeling of loss remains. The second person thinks differently. Before increasing consumption, she asks, what truly adds value to my life? She doesn't refuse everything. He doesn't live miserably. Don't turn the economy into suffering. She simply starts eliminating things that consume money without returning sufficient value. And that's an important distinction. Saving money doesn't mean saying no to everything. It's about learning to say yes to what really matters. Few people realize how silent financial waste can be. You don't need to buy a mansion to break your budget. Simply transform small impulses into habits. A purchase of 30 Ries seems irrelevant. Another one of 40, another one out of 25. After 60, when each decision is analyzed separately, none seem dangerous. But money doesn't disappear in big explosions. Most of the time, it runs off. Like water from a poorly closed tap. And there's something even more curious. The human brain tends to feel the pain of a major loss more intensely than that of repeated small losses. That's why spending little often seems harmless. The problem is that the bill accumulates. At the end of the month, you don't remember those 50 small expenses. You only realize that the balance has run out. That's why the philosophy of Mottainai can be applied to money in an extremely simple way. Before buying something new, ask yourself if what you already own can still serve the same purpose. Repair before replacing. Use before you accumulate. Before wishing for more, enjoy better. It seems like a philosophy of simplicity. But there is a powerful financial consequence. The less money you need to spend to maintain a life you consider good, more money is left over to build the next phase. But there was another detail. Japan did not develop this relationship with waste solely for economic reasons. The country's history has also been marked by periods of scarcity, reconstruction, and the need to manage resources carefully. This helped create a culture where repairing, reusing, and preserving could be seen not as something shameful, but as intelligence. And perhaps that's precisely where this rule becomes relevant to the modern world. We live in a time when almost everything can be replaced. An outfit, a device, a piece of furniture, a tool, sometimes even an experience. If something ceases to produce immediate satisfaction, there's always a promise that the next product will be better. The problem is that this logic doesn't have an endpoint. There's always a new model, an improved version, a promotion, a trend. And when you enter this race, you never need just one thing. You constantly need the next one. This is how consumption ceased to be merely a way of acquiring products. It became a way to seek out emotions, news, status, comfort, reward, belonging. And when money starts being used to buy emotions, building wealth becomes much more difficult. Because you're no longer competing against prices. He is competing against his own desires. Now imagine conducting an experiment. For 30 days, do not change your salary. Don't look for a second job. Don't make any investments. Don't cut everything. Just observe. Before every unplanned purchase, ask yourself this question. Will this improve my quality of life in 6 months? You don't need to reply immediately. Just think. Maybe you'll buy it. Maybe not. The goal is not to turn you into a stingy person. It's about discovering how many financial decisions were being made automatically. And perhaps you'll find something unexpected, some things that seemed indispensable. They were just desires that arrived disguised as needs. This perception is a form of wealth. Because money saved isn't simply money that wasn't spent. It's money that has gained a new possibility. It could become a reserve. It can reduce a debt. You can finance an opportunity. You can buy time. It can provide peace of mind. And at certain times in life, peace of mind is worth more than any material possession. But there's a catch. You can learn to spend less and still remain imprisoned. Because there is a limit to how much a person can save. You can't reduce your expenses to zero. At some point, mathematics hits a wall. And then the question arises that simply separates them. To save money, really build wealth. If I can't cut my expenses indefinitely, how can I increase the value I can produce? This is where our third rule begins. Because the Japanese have a curious relationship with an idea that seems simple. Get better every day. An almost invisible improvement. A small adjustment. A honed skill. A task done a little better than yesterday. The name of this philosophy is Kaizen. And when this idea stops being used only at work and starts being applied to one's own career, it can completely change the way a person thinks about money. But there was a problem. Improving a little each day seems insignificant. Until you discover what happens when small improvements accumulate over years. And that will be the next rule. The man arrived early, before the others. The workshop was still quiet when he started working. I wasn't trying to do everything perfectly. I was trying to do a little better. A more organized tool, a more precise movement, one less mistake, a small improvement every day. In Japan, this idea became known as Kaizen, continuous improvement, and there's a reason why she became so powerful. Because wealth rarely arises from a single extraordinary decision. Most of the time, it grows through small decisions repeated over a long period. Learning a skill, to improve one's own work. Gradually increase the value you offer. Save a portion of what you earn. Avoid unnecessary debt. Invest with discipline. And repeat. It seems like a small amount, until the years go by. A person who improves 1% at a time may end up in a completely different place than someone who expects a major transformation to happen suddenly. And this is perhaps the most important part of Kaizen. You don't need to change your entire life tomorrow. You just need to stop accepting that tomorrow will be exactly the same as today. If you earn little, learn something that will increase your value. If you're overspending, find out where your money is going. If you're in debt, start by eliminating one debt. If you're already able to save money, learn how to make it work. The journey may seem slow, but slowness does not mean failure. Sometimes it means construction. And perhaps that's the difference between appearing rich and actually building wealth. Those who want to appear wealthy need to show results quickly. Those who build wealth are willing to spend years doing things that almost no one notices. Silently, consistently, until one day, the result is no longer invisible. And those small decisions start to show up in your bank account, in your freedom, in your peace of mind, and in the choices you can finally make. In the end, the 3 rules we've discovered so far form a simple sequence. Watch your money. Don't waste its value. Continuously improve your ability to produce more. There is no magic. There is behavior. And perhaps true Japanese wisdom doesn't lie in finding a way to get rich quickly, but it's about building a life where wealth can grow without destroying what truly matters. If any of these ideas made you look at your own money in a different way, write in the comments which one touched you the most. Perhaps something you said is exactly what someone else needed to hear today. And if you believe that wealth isn't just about having more, but about learning to live better, sign up. Because there are still many Japanese stories hiding lessons that the modern world has almost forgotten.